Hi, I'm Ken with Orion Telescopes and Binoculars, and this is the Orion Atlas Pro. It's our latest and largest equatorial mount. It's an upgrade from the standard Atlas mount. And there are several features that we've upgraded and improved from customer feedback and from things we've been wanting to do ourselves. So I wanted to go through each feature and tell you a little bit more about it. The biggest new feature with the Atlas Pro is the mount's ability to function either as an equatorial mount, as you see it here, or in Alt-Az mode as well. So in equatorial mode like this is what you'd be using for doing long exposure photographs of the night sky where you don't have any field rotation. So you do a standard polar alignment, a scope on top, counterweights on the bottom, and away you go, a normal equatorial mount. But let's say you don't want to spend the time to polar align if you're just going to go out and visually look at the sky. Well, you don't need to do all that extra stuff. So you can put it into Alt-Az mode. And that's a fairly easy process. It goes pretty quick here. Just loosen these two screws, use the jack screw to bring this all the way up to 90 degrees, and then just attach this screw back inside, and you're in Alt-Az mode. So Alt-Az mode like this is great for a number of things. For just a quick and easy setup if you want to look at the night sky and maybe just take very short exposures like moon and planetary detail when you don't want to do the long exposures. That's perfect. If you want to use this for terrestrial viewing, put the telescope on the side, counterweights on the other. You can use it for following that boat along the horizon. And then with the dovetail cradle that you can attach onto this side, you can use two telescopes, one on either side. So if you're at a star party, you can have multiple people looking through two different telescopes at maybe the same object. It's also important to note that the computer system knows that this is an Alt-Az mode. So if you set it up in Alt-Az and do a computer alignment, it will go to whatever object you want and it'll follow along. So you can set it up in equatorial or in Alt-Az and the computer will still find everything that you want it to. This is the collar that you'll use in the dual Alt-Az setup. It attaches to the end of the counterweight shaft, and then of course you can slide the counterweight shaft in and out to find balance. On top, it uses either the narrow or the wide dovetail plate, so that's either Vixen compatible or Losmandy compatible, just like the top of the Atlas Pro itself, so either size can work. And then there's a fine adjustment on the back of it so you can fine-tune the positioning so you can get both scopes in the vertical direction looking at exactly the same thing. Another nice feature that we've added with the Atlas Pro is the closed-loop electronics. On a normal equatorial mount, once you've done the computer alignment, if you were to unlock the clutches and move the telescope around manually, the computer wouldn't know you've just moved it and the alignment would be lost. Well, not on this mount. The mount features closed-loop electronics, so I can move it around. It still senses where I'm pointing. So let's say I wanted to quickly look at, if I was looking at Jupiter and I quickly wanted to move over to Saturn, but I didn't want to use the hand controller to pull it up on the menu. I just wanted to unlock it here and here, move it over there, and lock it back down. Well, the mount will continue to track, and if I wanted to go back to Jupiter, I just hit Jupiter in the menu, it'll go right back to it. It hasn't lost its place, no matter what you do manually. Another feature, since I'm right there, is the locks themselves. We've made them very large and easy to grab, especially in the cold when your fingers are numb or you're using a glove. This is the declination lock, and then over here is the right ascension lock. Very big and easy to grab handles, especially in the cold. In equatorial mode, when you're polar aligning, we've added a nice, large, robust jack screw for the altitude adjustment. So when you're getting that critical height adjustment for Polaris, you can easily fine-tune the position just by twisting the jack screw up or down and get Polaris dead on the spot in the polar alignment scope that you need. Speaking of polar aligning, the polar alignment reticle is illuminated. That was standard with the Atlas as well, but now we've added a adjustment to the illuminator. So you can go from 0 to 100% illumination and pretty much everything in between, just to get the exact right brightness that you need on the polar reticle. The front panel of the Atlas Pro has some standard features that we've had before and some upgrades, so I just wanted to go over a few of them. The hand controller, standard Ethernet jack. The power cable is actually a nice upgrade. We've listened to our customers. A lot of them were asking for a thread-on connection, so that's exactly what we've done. The previous version, it was just a slip fit, and if you weren't really careful, or if you jiggled something or you pulled a little too hard, it would come out and you've lost power. Well, now it's a nice solid thread-on connector, so you don't have to worry about losing power ever, unless your battery goes out, of course. But a nice solid connection there. The auto-guider port, that's a standard feature for auto-guiding for long exposure photographs. And then the snap cable here, port, is for controlling certain Canon cameras. You can control the exposures and the timing if you're not using a laptop. So a nice handy feature if you have a Canon camera that is compatible with it. We've upgraded the counterweight shaft to a 1-inch diameter steel shaft, so it's nice and robust. We also include an extension shaft, so if you need a little bit more counterweighting, you can, instead of having to buy another counterweight, you can slide your existing 2 counterweights down further to counterbalance whatever heavy telescope you've got up top. The mount also features permanent periodic error correction, so if you want to do a periodic error correction run with an auto-guider, it'll save in the hand controller and you can play it back later, so you don't have to redo it every time you shut the mount off. Just park it and you're good to go. Speaking of the computer, same controller, 42,000 objects in the database, so there's plenty of objects in the sky to see. Features a couple of nice computer alignment routines. All right, well there you have it, the Atlas Pro. We've added a bunch of new features, and I think you're really going to like what it can do for astrophotography and for visual use. All right, thank you very much. Clear skies.